Oh, Lord. Won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My Porsche has a flat and my woes never end. And I know that's not the words to that song, but God, what a shit show. What a shit show. I'm going to try talking loud. And if you can't hear me at all, I don't want to hear about it. There's just nothing I can do about it. I bought a couple of different mics, but the last one wouldn't even plug into the other utensil that the guy sent me for it, so I just put them in a drawer. So, I wasn't planning on being gone this long. Think about you guys every day and the wonderful replies you leave me and the comments you make. Actually, what I was waiting for was something good to happen. I thought it isn't going to be too long until something good's going to happen. Then I'm just going to jump on there and make a video. Well, I decided maybe I wasn't going to live that long. That if I wanted to talk to y'all again, that I that I needed just to start talking. So anyway, I'm just playing with you. You know, I did have some thoughts. I've always got thoughts, but right now we're having a 9/11 about every 2 days, 2.5. That many people's dying. So we're having over 3,000 people die every 2.5 days of COVID, and nobody gets riled up about that. But we had 3,000 people die. I'm not saying that all of us wasn't devastated, but they decided to go start a war that lasts for 20 years. And then raise hell when it was over and all of our assets and money and everything else had gone into some foreign country for 20 years. But I was thinking, I just got back from my walk, that's why I'm kind of congested. I always start sneezing. I don't know if the plants put out more pollen at night or what. But, and it is night, it's in the middle of the night. I was thinking about that. If the United States would have poured billions and billions of dollars and started doing it 20 years ago into the people here in the United States and fixed our roads, fixed our schools, set up college so everybody had an even playing field, started doing programs for the people, the poor people, or not just the poor people, but the ordinary people, maybe we wouldn't have had all these deplorables that Hillary Clinton was talking about. And I'm not calling these people deplorable. I'm calling them, right now I'm thinking they're pretty freaking ignorant if they won't even get a shot. But I'm not going to push that. I'm not going to bring that back up. But maybe they would have more trust in the government and wouldn't have been so disappointed to start with that they had to vote for a fascist, racist asshole to be president to start with that's brought all this crap into our society. Not that it wasn't there, it was underlying, but he gave everybody permission to fly their freak flag, and they all been flying it. And so anyway, it's a big shame. Could you imagine what the United States, how happy everybody would have been in the United States and getting along so good together if all this money had been spent to boost this nation, to build this nation. For schools, bridges, roads, high-speed rail. God, there could have been no telling what we would have been done. A new grid, everything electric. We could have been the leader. We could have led the whole world and probably saved the whole world if we'd started 20 years ago. So I've lived long enough to know there's pathways every minute, and if you miss that pathway, sometimes it takes a long time to catch it again, and sometimes you never catch it. So anyway, that was just where one of my thoughts was. I want to make sure I got this microphone close enough where you all can hear me. So that was my thought about this Afghanistan stuff and the news media. I'm not a Biden fan, but we needed to get out of there. And yes, there should have been some planning. There should have been 2 or 3 different plans set up for all different things, and they should have not gotten such a big hurry. But it was kind of set up when when Trump and Pompeo went over there and set all those prisoners free, 5,000 prisoners, set the main guy out of prison. They were kind of setting it up for something like this to happen. And I didn't know till I heard some people that did real research today that in the last 2 years there's been more people killed and more violence in Afghanistan than there had been in 10 years or so of this 20-year war. So everything had really escalated under Trump even before he did this. So maybe he was buying himself some time. Maybe Pompeo got really paid off for that, and half of it went into Trump's account. Who knows? Maybe we'll just start right there with the cards tonight. Maybe that's a question. I was trying to figure out what to ask. Maybe that's the question I'll ask. I was going to get my glasses, but maybe I can get through here without them. So I always wear my glasses when I read cards anymore. Didn't used to. So let's see. Did Pompeo and Trump get a payoff? Did they get a payoff for letting those 5,000 prisoners out of jail and turning the head honcho loose and so they could make their plans to come in? I mean, by the time this was done, anybody with a brain in their head would have known that there was no way Trump was going to get elected, not if it was a legal election. I was terrified that he was going to do something to screw it up, and of course he actually did, even if it was after the fact. But anyway, did they get a payoff from that? That was a lot of prisoners let loose. Part of that, from what the news media was talking about, and I'm not talking about all the whiny little bitches on CNN and MSNBC right now that are just having a fit, especially that Nicole Wallace, who was President Bush's right-hand girl when he started the war. And I even watch her. If I'm going to watch news early in the day, that's the program I watch. I'm not saying I don't like her. I'm just saying that she's a Republican, and she always will be. But now the news media is having a fit. I guess it gives them something to bitch about. This definitely was not done well. But then this type of deal was never done well. It wasn't done well when we got out of Vietnam either. You can't, but it could have been planned better, and they should have started planning on getting the people out of there that was going to get hurt and killed way ahead of time. But Biden's, I truthfully feel that he's afraid of the main peanut butter boy anymore, Tucker Carlson. I think he's terrified of what Tucker Carlson and that blonde-headed biatch is going to say on Fox News. He was more worried about what they were going to say if he brought people into this country as refugees that weren't white than getting them out of there and saving their lives. And I really think that had a lot to do with it. And you can come back with me on this if you want to. That's all right. I'm a big girl. I can take it. But like I said, we're all entitled to our opinions. And I thought, well, why didn't he get those people out of there sooner? And I thought, he just didn't want the backlash. And now it's coming back to bite him on the butt, and it's too late to get them out of there safe, or their families, and it's just a big mess. But I guess this is what happens when you pull out of a country after being in that position. And it looks like they never did set things up where the people they were training could even run half the equipment without the contractors over there. So this is kind of set up just to pay, I was going to say pay Brown and Root, but I don't think it's Brown and Root anymore. But, you know, the contractors, and then for a long time, Eric Prince was making buku money over there with his mercenaries. So, who were supposed to be contractors or what? No, God only knows what they were really doing, or where the money. I keep thinking of that old song, "She's So Fine, There Ain't No Telling Where the Money Went." Well, we'll never know where the money went over there, but we knew that. We've known that for 20 years, but wouldn't it have been nice had it came into here? That would have been so nice if that money had it came into America, built it all up, renewed it, made a nice country out of it instead of where it looks like a third world country and anytime you leave the oceans. And pretty soon the oceans are going to be worse because they're going to be underwater because we didn't take care of things. So it's just it's a cluster F, no matter how you look at it. But let's see if Pompeo and Trump made money. See if they made some of that money, got paid off when they let those 5,000 Taliban people out of jail, and or maybe they weren't Taliban, I think they were Al-Qaeda, out of jail, and turned the boss loose. And you know, that wasn't enough people. He even wanted to invite him to Camp David. That was the feather that broke the camel's back. I guess even the people around him wouldn't let him go that far. But the guy is a moron. That's all there is to it. And we've all known that. Anybody that was paying any attention to anything he's really been doing instead of watching Fox News, spend the last 4 years hiding it. Know that. So, okay, let's see what was going on about this particular deal with getting the prisoners out and letting the main guy go. Did they make a payoff on this? They not only made a payoff, they knew that it was going to end up getting a lot of people killed. So even though a lot of things that Trump said and Trump did, you didn't know for sure if he had done it, he would have went ahead and followed through with this, I'm pretty sure. Because he was paid to do it, I think. And we'll have to see. But it looks like he was probably paid to do it. So the signifier's the death card. Total chaos. Because of that. Maybe he thought he could get this going the same time he was running around saying he won the election when he didn't or something. Look at this. We've got the tower at the bottom. That definitely was a planned act. Let's see if any money cards come up. I like this card. There's justice coming through for Pompeo and him. I hope that's what it is. I hope it's not coming after America as a country because of some of the horrible things we pulled by being places we shouldn't be. Even though some of these people that helped Bin Laden was from there, I think when they finally got the real records on who was there years later, I'm pretty sure they were all from Pakistan. So we'll never know. So we got judgment and then judgment. We got justice. Judgment. We got justice and then we got judgment. So it looks like maybe some of this stuff is going to come out. Maybe we will know. Maybe somebody's going to know. I just hope if they're going to get justice and judgment, well, maybe this is just us in the eyes of the world right now. Because we got judgment, justice, and world change right above the death card. And we got the tower in the foundation. Well, I did ask about Trump and Pompeo, so I'm not going to change the deal. I keep wondering, with all these cards, if this is the world judging us as a country. Let's hope not. I mean, why judge us for finally doing the right thing and get out of there? So I doubt that very much. Well, Pompeo thought he was really hot shit when he went over there and made that deal. This is in the 7th house. Yep, they had a contract. They had a contract about some kind of money. It was more than just verbal. Probably part of it was all the equipment and stuff they were going to leave there and not destroy. Who knows what kind of contract. But if it was just about leaving stuff there, on some level, Pompeo was smart enough to know it'd be a miracle they were still in there unless they could totally steal this election. So there was some kind of contract that Pompeo made, which we knew that, but something under the table. This is an under the table contract. And they are still trying to keep the lid on it. They're afraid that this is going to be revealed more about what went on in those meetings. And it was about manipulating money. But that's not a big money card. Let me pull one more. Look at this. And I shuffled the shuffle out of these. Look at this. Well, it does look bad for Biden right now, but that wasn't the plan when this was put together. Donald Trump thought he made a deal to be able to wait till March. I think that's of next year. So, this is a signifier, which is the death card. I would love to think that it was the death of a career and prominence and everything else to Pompeo and Trump. But I think maybe this was just ending this war. Knowing that a bunch of fighting was going to go on. And that was really going to bring the house down in America. Maybe even if Trump would have been in, they could say, well, that way you have to rely on me because only I can fix it. You know, him and only he. Screw it up or fix it. There was a deal made. Here's justice is going to come through. Judgment's going to come through. World change. Well, we know that. It's going to change things. letting them take care of their own business for a while. And like I say, here's Phimpo thinking he did good because he did a deal and made some money. So far, they've been able to keep a lid on everything that was said over there. Maybe they'll get some transcripts from somebody, or somebody's gonna let them know what happened in there. That's gonna be if the judgment and justice card comes through. It's gonna be because somebody let our government or somebody in it know what really went on in those meetings. There was some money that was promised to change hands. So they did get some money. There was some money that changed hands. It was just like stabbing America in the back. Not because we said we were going to pull out. We could have pulled out, but we didn't have to tell them ahead of time and release 5,000 prisoners and release their main guy that was leading them. But we will find out, not right away. But we will find out more about this, and even though it had judgment and justice, unless it's something that comes out in some other reports or something, I can't see them pushing this or going after it. They haven't gone after anything else, and the only thing they could really go after them for on this would be if they could prove that they did get a payoff for it, which would be regular treason then, I would assume. Although I'm not sure anything that group did would be treason. It always just blows me away. But anyway, it looks like there was some money and that changed hands for and a contract made. And we know there was a contract made supposedly, but there was a shady contract made too that had to do with some money changing hands. So they did. And if anybody wants a personal reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. That's why I gotta go to the doctor tomorrow and get a couple of skin cancers taken off. And here it is 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm reading cards because I've been reading cards for people all day today, and I wanted to get this reading out before I go do that because the next day I have a friend coming to spend a couple of days with me. And I'd like to say him and I are going to have a hot old time, but it's not a him, it's just a her. And I guess I'm too old to have a hot old time. So what else are we going to ask about? Somebody told me to ask about Paul Gosart. One of my subscribers keeps asking me about Paul Gosart of Arizona. So I don't know that much about him. I hope I didn't ask about him last time I read. I don't think I did. Paul Gosart I think he's from Arizona. Is he from Arizona? He may not even be from Arizona, but let's see about Paul Gosart. What's going on with you, Paul Gosart? Just look down there and see your name on that paper. That may have been from the last time I read cards. Well, let's see. Somebody wants to know about him, and then I want to read a little bit on Haiti. I think I told you my little story about that. Whatever it was, I had feeling like I was in an earthquake here in San Diego when I went to visit my grandson's new house. I'm sure I did tell you about that. But I told a couple of friends about it. They're the ones I remember talking to about it, and they asked me what I thought it meant, and I told them I don't know. That was like I was actually experiencing an earthquake here in San Diego. I said I used to always know when earthquakes are coming, but not anymore because not when I get dizzy anymore, I can't put it off to an earthquake. Um, it was really something. It was like having an hallucination without taking any LSD or something. It was that real. But anyway, and then I had a couple people wanting me to read on this earthquake in Haiti. But first, let's do Paul Gossart real quick. What's going on with you? I think, see that short little guy that was humping when he went across on January 6th to the Senate? I don't know. If it was, he's not from Arizona. But let's see. So is that telling me yes, that's who it is? I don't know. We got the Ace of Swords here. Wow. Secret contracts. I put that back in there and shuffled. He'll be lucky if he don't go to jail for something. What's going on with him? This hangman's been coming up so quick. I'm going to start using that for January 6th. I think my cards are trying to tell me when this comes up, just this is a connection with January 6th. He's losing sleep over it, whatever's going on. There was money distributed because of this, because of January 6th. This is the 7th house. He's going to end up with his heart broke. Let's hope that that means he's not going to get reelected or maybe have to go early even. Look at this. He don't want secrets to get out. He's trying to keep the lid on his connection. He had a lot to do with the money for January 6th. I don't know if it was financing the way some of the people got to Washington or what, but there was some money that was given to him to put back to use to help promote that. Right, coming right down from the White House. Look at this. So that's what's going on with him. And I drew one card, and I told myself it was only going to be one to clarify it, and I got the Four of Swords. So it's going to come bite him in the ass. So this was, yes, that he was involved. He helped them in the planning. He could end up in jail for it, and it was for the insurrection. He's lost sleep at night, even if he acts like a Mr. Macho in public. He's lost sleep at night worrying about this because he was in with helping put some of the money out. He's got his comeuppance coming. He's got the Three of Swords in his inside. He doesn't want the truth to get out, but it looks like it's coming out. That there was a lot of money that changed hands, and most of this money came down from higher up than he was. If I'm not mistaken, if he's that short little guy I think he is, I think he had just gotten into office, but he was right in the middle of this shit, and he's losing sleep over it at night. So that's Paul Gossart. Let me draw a circle around that so I'll remember who I read about when I go to put this video up. I can't believe how much that hangman's been coming up lately, so I think it's telling me don't hold your breath, just wait a little longer, just wait a little longer. It's trying to tell me something that doesn't come up like it's came up in every reading, every time I turn around. Just wondering if that's what I read on last week or something. I know I've been writing notes and writing myself notes, and then I get them all mixed in together. I'm just so freaking organized I can't stand it. Well, here's a question I get asked. This I know this came from my subscribers because I remember seeing it in there. So here we go. It says, will people that get the subpoenas to come in and testify for January 6th show up? Will the people who get the subpoenas to come in and testify for January 6th show up, or is it going to be a big frickin' rat race, or the Democrats are going to just keep doing what they've always done, take a knife to a gunfight and then don't even pull it? Just sit there and powder their frickin' noses and say there's nothing they can do. So let's see. Sounds like I'm a Republican, and I'm not. Never have been, and I'm damn sure not one of those other people. What do they call them? I'm like, well, what's his name? Fuzzy-headed dentist that's trying to get everybody infected with COVID. Ron Paul. What do they call themselves? Libertarians. You know, I call it sell to the highest bidder. But anyway, so let's see. Are these people going to come on in, testify, even if they have to take the fifth? Or are they going to still try to keep this shit show going? I got to shuffle them one more time here. Remember, if you want a reading, it's lentarotreadings@gmail.com. I should find out by next week if I'm going to really get my knee done or not. I'm supposed to even go to the doctor for a pre-op. If they let me go in for that, maybe I'm going to get it done. That's where they stopped me last time. Little peons like me don't find out what's going on until it's time to do it. They don't get a hold of you ahead of time and explain anything. So let's see. Are these people going to show up? I don't need to draw anymore. It looks like most of them's going to show up. It looks like most of them is going to show up. That will be... If that happens, somebody remind me. If they start subpoenaing people to come in there and everybody comes, please remind me that the card said yes, because I am shocked. Totally shocked. And maybe they're going to get some information about Russia when they show up. Look what's on the bottom of that deck. So, here we go. I think I put a bunch of those back in there upside down. So, yeah, it says yes, they're going to show up. This is kind of old. It says, well, Como resigned. So whenever I wrote that, that was a long time ago. And I should have went ahead and read on that. I literally thought he was going to resign. And I'd have been surprised. Now I wish I'd have read on and see what the card said. So this must have been from my last reading when I talked about Cori Bush and stuff. So let me see what I've written down on. Maybe I haven't been writing in that. Maybe I've been writing in these instead. I'm going to have to edit some of this stuff out so you guys don't have to. Oh, Jackie wanted me to read on Haiti after the earthquake. She's real interested in Haiti. Every time I read for her, she talks about Haiti. She spent time there and she speaks the language, and she's a sweet, dear person that I've read for several times. I really enjoy reading for her. I enjoy reading for everybody, but there's some people you just feel attuned to. So Let's see what's going on in Haiti. Let's see what's going on here. Well, we know it's terrible. I think they just said 2,000 people tonight. I know prayer works. I'm not into organized dogma religion, but I'm definitely know that prayer works. And I know that the masters will come in and help personally if you pray them in. So everybody pray for the archangels and everybody to go in and help those poor people. I just couldn't believe that when I found out it happened to him again. And I don't know why anything surprises me anymore. And one thing I'm going to do, and it'll be something for me because I always say I'm going to do this stuff. I'm going to try to make me a little earthquake kit. And I'm going to keep it somewhere where I can get my hands on it. I'm in housing that looks like it's made of wood, but it's actually made of like aluminum, and then, you know, that's what the beams and everything, supposedly that's what the bones to it is before they put in the insulation and the drywall and all that kind of stuff. And I've seen office buildings and stuff built out of this, and where I lived before, I lived right on a fault. I mean, when we'd have an earthquake, I had a 4-story building that was supposed to be earthquake proof that they'd spend 3 years building, just twist into a knot that had that stuff in it. A half a block from where my old house that was 100 years old, the old redwood house that was up on stilts, you know, I mean how they, not stilts, but up on those cement blocks. And it would always loosen mine up, and I could go in and replaster the walls. Sometimes I even had to bang a few nails back in, especially on the redwood siding outside. But I never. But it went through almost a 7 point. It was 6.8 something. That happened right where my house was, the one that tore that 4-story building down a half a block away from me, and it was only a half a block. It was. My house was the first half, and then there was the half a block behind me, and right across the street was that building. This was down in El Centro. So I wonder about the place I live now because it's got those metal, not metal, but I guess aluminum or whatever. All the bones in this place is made out of that. It's 2-story apartments. So I just wonder if they really had a good shake here, if it would just twist this all up. If it was just wood, if it didn't break the concrete, it might rattle and, like I said, pull a few things loose, but it wouldn't twist it. So I'm just kind of interested if this place would twist if a bad earthquake really hit here. Well, I don't think Russia's going to come in and help them, but who knows? They might help them more than we do. Who in the hell knows? We need the Earth Mother in there. We've got the Empress here on the bottom. So, oh, it's just Mother Earth telling us all to start treating her better. They do need help. Well, even with the pandemic, it looks like there's going to be a lot of money going towards Haiti. I hope it gets into the right hands and the right pockets to do them some good. I hope there's somebody over there helping take care of the people and seeing that some of that goes to help the people. Every time something like this happens, everybody runs over there with their hand open. The influence over all this money coming in is the page of coins, so maybe they will keep better track of what's coming in than they did before, although I don't know how they could when they've got such a mess all over the ground. And I buried her and shuffled again. It's almost like all this pain and misery is bringing them up to into the Aquarian age. I know this sounds stupid. I'm sure it would sound stupid to anybody in Haiti. But it's almost like a major mental physical growth toward the future. I don't know. Or maybe that's just the earth shaking, saying she's in charge. Everything would have been put back together if the money that was sent there before would have been spent right. There was a lot of money sent to them before, and it was stolen. Profiteers. Everybody had their hand in the pot, and we went to every place but where it was supposed to. And they're trying to, already setting up to see if they can pull that again. Look at this. It's in the near future. I hope they're through shaking. I hope they're I know after you have that kind of earthquake, it shakes for usually 2 or 3 years afterwards. I know the biggest earthquake we had in the valley 10 years ago, it was still shaking when I moved up here 7 years ago. And it was more than 10 years ago now. I think it was closer to 12. So once you have that big of an earthquake, it keeps shaking. I just drew a 3 for Haiti. A 3 of Wands. It looks like it's going to be about 3 years before it starts getting any better. Before they really get some help like they need. I don't know that much about how it's set up. I know their governments, of course, they just had that big, that's where they had that assassination. So it's not that really safe in the streets, I guess, but it looks like things are going to change in about 3 years. I don't know what's happening. Let's see what's the energy around that. We got the King of Cups here. I know the energy, this isn't Biden, and the energy around it getting better isn't going to be Donald Trump. I'm wondering if this is a rich donor. I mean, like a Bezos or the guy that owns Tesla or something. I'm wondering if maybe they're just thinking of going in there and buying that whole island or something and setting up. I don't know. I don't know if they could do that. But we're just about to the point on the earth now because the money is so uneven that people could do something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody, even if it's just a philanthropist, probably didn't say that right, with his heart in the right place or something, went in there to literally try to help the people and set up things better for them. That would be a nice thought. That would be my hope. Well, I do have a feeling that this is going to stop a lot of the violence that was going on over there. If I'm not mistaken, I think they've been having violence in the streets and a lot of other stuff going on ever since that assassination, and I don't even know if they had a president. I heard a little bit about it for a while, and then everybody quit talking about it. So I don't know if they went the other people that supposedly won the election to start with, and this people that got murdered wouldn't give it up, from what I understand. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that one. I don't think nobody's going to quote me anyway. But it looks like this brings love and truth through, because we've got the King of Cups going over to help them straighten stuff out in about 3 years. This is a massive amount of money pouring in there in about 3 years. And feminine energy, organized massive amount of energy, going in for good. And then the sword of truth. Because right now, I'm going to go back. There's money pouring in there. Some of that money is going to get put in the right direction. Mother Earth is really telling us we need to grow up. Start taking care of her. A lot of this supplies and stuff that are coming in may not even get on shore. It may be just sent to another country. And this is the energy around it, the devil energy. But within 3 years, somebody very benevolent is going to come in and invest in that whole island, clean it up, fix it up, literally come through and help the people bring in the feminine energy. And maybe even make it a real democracy. I know this sounds really far-fetched, Jackie, but that's what I'm getting out of these cards tonight. Let's hope so. Let's hope something good could come of that. Something be better if they'd keep the money there that's going there right now and take care of them. But I think more that just as quick as that comes in the front door, it's going to be going out the back door from that reading. So I know this is getting long, and I'm going to turn it off and start another. And I'm going to do 2 of them to put out for this next week, because I'm going to be busy till the weekend. Or maybe I'll just put this one out tonight, and then because by the time I edit this, it won't be that long. There's just so much stuff out there. Let's hope by the time I read on Saturday, because I'm having company till Saturday. So when I read again on Saturday, I'm going to have something good to read on. Something good and wonderful is going to happen. That's my I want to cut the cards on that. Something good to read on. I did hear something good on the news tonight. There was one black lady that got her whole town vaccinated. She went door to door and talked to people about it, and just being nice and sweet. And besides that, it was a small town, but she knew them all and talked every one of them into getting vaccinated. That was a really good. That was on one of the news shows tonight. So let's just see. Come on. Am I going to have something good to read on? King of Pentacles moving fast. There's going to be some news coming forward about Trump. And I said I was going to read Saturday. In the next couple of days, we're going to hear some news about Trump coming forward fastly. Anyway, I love you all. If you want a personal reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. Put your phone number in there and I'll get back with you. And thank you for watching. sorry it took me so long to get back. And send me things you want me to read on, please, please, on your replies. Uh, if you want me to read on something, just tell me, and then I'll write it down, because that's the biggest thing you can do to help me from this end. Help this old lady from this end. Anyway, night all. You guys, God bless y'all, and have a good day, good night whenever you're watching this. Namaste.